neighborhood Gusses are Gussin Around. Your favorite neighborhood Gusses, where are they found? In the studio making a podcast for you. Find out what we did this week. Was it fun or was it kinda bleak? You won't know unless you listen to the podcast. Find out what we talking about. Is it good or is it kinda not? You won't know unless you listen to us. Gus! We are live. Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of Gussin Around. I'm your host, Shannon Guss, and I'm here with my co-host / husband, Peter Guss. Peter, how are you?
I thought I was going to host.
No, you didn't.
So
We never even had a conversation about it.
we didn't. This is...
And even if we had, you wouldn't remember it. You were like, we're going to have to talk about why we're doing the podcast. I'm like, I just read out some detailed notes. They're written in my notebook about what the plan is. And that was literally the first point. And you're like, we have to talk about why we're doing this.
Yeah. We're going to have to explain who we are. No, I think...
That's also a point I gave. I gave that point too.
Yeah. Well, I don't listen much. I just kind of do it.
This is such a great reflection of our life. Like, now I know what it's like to podcast with you. It's just to like be married to you. It's the same thing.
It's great, right?
Equally wonderful and frustrating.
No, I never, on my podcast that I do about fantasy football, my other co-hosts always host, and I just answer the questions. And this is a good reflection as to why, mostly because I don't pay attention.
Well, that's a good sign. Who is your favorite of your hosts now?
Jeez, you can't ask me that.
I really hope it's me.
Oh, you're included. I was like, yeah, of course. No, if you're included, then it's Chizo.
Yeah, ask me who my favorite co-host is. It's Mike.
Yeah, I know.
It's Mike Bloom.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you guys don't know who we are, this has all been a lot very quickly.
How did you find us?
Yeah, if you just found us randomly, welcome. You're exactly the type of person we're trying to find. We're also trying to find our communities, my Survivor community, Peter's Super Coach community, the communities we've built over decades at this point, who might want to know a little bit more about what we're doing. And that's what Gussin Around is. Yeah.
A bit more, I guess, about us as people, relationships.
Gussing around.
I think one of the key things for me personally was when I started podcasting, it was 10 years ago, and podcasting was relatively new. The people that I knew that were podcasting that you looked up to all had kind of like nicknames, and they had personas and they had characters. So I thought to be a successful podcaster, I would need to have a nickname, which known as Pistol on my podcast. And I thought I would have to play a character. So I just decided I'm going to go hard into being like a stats nerd, and like my thing will be data crunching and being a robot, being, able to spit out numbers and maths and all that sort of stuff. So I just lent in really hard to that. But the problem was that while we, I guess, had some success doing that, I never got to break out of that. I just had to keep being that character because that's what people came to expect and what people liked. But it started to veer very far away from who I was as a person. And I found it really difficult trying to claw that back, and that I haven't had much success trying to claw that back. And people might be a little bit surprised about who I am as a person and how I am as a person compared to what's been portrayed over 10 years on a podcast. And I think that's probably not been your experience.
Yeah, I think if you'd ever brought that up to me even one time, I would have been like, don't do that. Why are you doing that? That's not how I've ever seen podcasting. Like for me and the people who listen to my podcast, like I feel like I'm so much myself. Like I think like I'm like the most core elements of myself, like distilled down to their like purest essence, almost to the point where like I'm not like that most of the time, because no one could be like 150% themselves all the time like I am on the podcast. But I think like on the podcast, I think that there are people who listen to me who know me better than people in my life, because there's so much content and it's so extremely me. But then the weird thing for me is then when I'm not like so honest about my life, I feel guilty. I'm like, I'm not, you know what I mean? Because I feel like I should let the listeners in. And I think a big part of Gussing Around as well is like I've not enjoyed holding back things like this year. Also, point we should mention that we are having a baby. That's been a big part. You know, that's been a secret. I was pregnant earlier this year and had a miscarriage. That was a secret. Like, it really tore me up not to talk about these things in my life and not to like give that for the people who care about it. And like, again, the communities that we've built. So I feel like I have not the opposite problem, because I don't regret any part of it, but I feel like and you've listened to like, you know that I'm like so much myself on the podcast, I think.
Yeah. Like, also, I don't think it's 100% you. I think people would probably be a bit surprised to know that like you're an introvert, and
it's me in one specific setting.
Yeah,
and my most
like Survivor
comfortable
Shan rather than just like regular Shan.
But no, they wouldn't be surprised, because I talk on the podcast about how I'm an introvert.
Look, I don't listen to your podcast.
I've talked about literally like sitting in the shower, like I always go back to that because it's so random.
It's weird.
Yeah, but like,
can you please stop doing that? There's not enough hot water. I always have cold showers.
Yeah, I do love to sit in the shower. But the thing is, like, that's the kind of information that I give on the podcast. I think that's why I feel guilty when it's like, you know, I had a miscarriage during, I'm just going to dive right in, right?
Okay. This is heavy.
Yeah, during Brains v Brawn 2, when we were covering that this year. And that's
I have to say time frames for my listeners.
Was March. Yeah. And I think I was doing like 6-7 podcasts a week, and I took off 2. I put Mike did one X interview, and then I pushed one feedback show, which was like right during my DNC. And then I came back and I was like, this feels so wrong. Like, I should tell the listeners what's going on. And I couldn't, because I couldn't find the way to do that and the time to do that. And I tried for a really long time to be like, I want to talk about what I've been through. And I could not find a way to do that. And I guess now will be some of that time. As the theme song listen to me. As the theme song says, is it kind of bleak? Like, I literally put that sometimes it'll be sad into the theme song, but also we'll have fun. But okay, so in my notes, which you might have listened to,
we already had the theme song before we had the miscarriage.
let's talk about it. We wanted to introduce ourselves. So what is this, right? So for years we've talked about doing Gussin Around as a joke. We talked about doing, literally, I wrote the theme song years ago, I should say, as well.
5 years ago?
Wolf from America, thank you, did the piano part to that. That's
amazing.
Me singing. I wrote the song. And Rio Tex is our graphic. So we were really happy to commission to some very talented people in the Survivor community for that. But I've been singing the song since we lived in Melbourne. Yeah. Like, we've just been joking about doing it. But then, so why do you...
Which your listeners know about the time frame of that, and mine do not.
Bizarre to me. So, okay, why do you feel like, why do you want to do the podcast at all? And why do you want to do it now? Why are we doing this now? What are we doing?
Well, look, for me...
You even do podcast voice. Listen to yourself. Can you stop? You're freaking me out.
I can't turn it off.
Don't say
I pretty much just like
have
been podcasting as a character, and then I see the microphone and I'm like, all right, character mode, go.
I'm your wife. You can just have a conversation with me.
Yeah, it's hard to like train out of it.
I'm gonna like make you cry on this podcast 5 times and it'll be gone. I can't do podcast voice for you.
Hey, I've cried on the pod. I haven't, but
no way.
Look, sometimes they're really mean to me. Okay.
Wait.
My team was really bad this year, so it made me want to cry.
On the podcast. Your super coach team was just really like upset. Awful. That is true. I actually can't believe
my
that.
Captain.
Wait. Why are we doing the podcast? That's the question.
I think, for me personally, it's something I've wanted to do for a while because, as I mentioned, I felt a little bit stuck in playing I guess we'll say, reoccurring character. And
why?
I couldn't break it. I couldn't shake it. How much more are we going to go into
get past
this?
It. It's bizarre.
Get over it. But
it's been 4 years.
We just kind of wanted to do something different. We're both very creative people. I know I'm speaking on your behalf. Both very creative people. This feels like a good creative medium and a hobby and something that we can do together. And it felt like a good way to bring, I guess, our shared talents together to be able to create something cool and meaningful. And we have really, well, I think, I don't know what other people will think, some really great, I guess, dinner conversations about a variety of different things, about shows, about movies, about life in general, about hot topics. And sometimes I'm like, this would be a really great podcast. Like, I think some people would be interested in this. Very few, but some.
If you are that some, thank you for being here.
Thank you for listening. And
if you stay, even better.
Yeah, if you make it through
this. Minutes. Yeah.
Look, if you make it to episode 2.
Yes.
But look, I think, over the years, this has been something where I'm like, we should probably do this. And then it never felt like the right time. And I guess it's one of those things that like never really feels like the right time. And once we had some major life events happen to us this year, and you said specifically, this is something that I don't like hiding from people and something I want to talk about. And for me, I thought, I didn't know anyone who had a miscarriage. As a guy, it's not something that people talk about with me. And I just like, I guess, stumbled through this with you by my side, fortunately. And I wish I had known. I wish someone had spoken to me about this before. I didn't know anything at all. And yeah, I guess it'd be great to be able to like, I was going to say spread the word, but this wasn't the purpose of the podcast.
This is not a miscarriage podcast.
No, it's not. It's a general.
It might
general.
be a parenting skew in that we are 16 weeks pregnant. So that's the hope, right? That it. So the
hope is that you're 16 weeks pregnant. Yes.
The hope is that like the podcast will keep manifesting in that direction. I think it's been a big year. Like I think it's a very interesting time in our lives and like an interesting one to document. And the funny thing about it is, well, not maybe funny, not haha funny, but like I think if we would have, because we've been talking about it all year. So if we would have done the podcast at any point of this year, like it would have been so different. And that's obviously true for like anyone at any time. But I think especially this year has been such a journey, you know, new era Survivor style. I think for me, so why I wanted to do it, well, I think because for a few reasons. Like, firstly, we've talked about it for a long time. And I think this year I'm trying to be like, just do the thing you want to do. That's why I keep booking us international trips. And you're like, we cannot afford it. And I'm like, no, we're going to do the things we want to do. What did I say? I think, and the miscarriage definitely taught me this. But even before, like, I really went into this year being like wanting to relentlessly pursue happiness. And like this, and I believe me, I have, you know, gotten more Uber Eats than I should. I'm like, no, it makes me happy. We went to Europe, you know, we're going to America in a few weeks. We
had baby moon number 1, and then she's like, well, we have to have a baby moon. And I'm like,
we went on the Disney cruise. I'm like, we are going to do, like, and I've had 5 New Year's resolutions that have really like guided all my thinking for everything I was doing. I will give you $50 if you can tell me what one of my resolutions was.
I got this.
I can tell you your resolutions. You wanted to watch more TV.
Yeah, I forgot. I did make that. Watch more TV. I've done that.
Yeah, I think we've watched a lot of TV.
Yours was outside of relentlessly pursuing.
That wasn't it.
Was one of yours do a Disney cruise?
It was to travel.
Okay.
That does not count.
Okay, it doesn't count. Was what?
Peter.
To get pregnant?
Yeah. That
yes.
was one. So we did that twice.
Nailed it.
Okay, I'm not giving you $50.
You're complete. Did you tick it off twice? Oh,
I did.
Dark.
Double
oh god.
tick. And then and it was also right at the beginning of the year. I was like, I nailed that.
Wait, didn't you completed all 5 in the first month?
No, it did. No, this is one. Okay, this is why I don't throw to you.
I don't know the others.
The 5 New Year's resolutions. One was to travel more. I feel like we've done really well on that.
Tick.
We've had our best travel year. Well, and to come as well. Get pregnant. Double tick. I wanted to be better with my OCD, which I think has been like up and down. I also have OCD. This is now a mental health podcast. My mental health has been really good this year. So I feel like that's a tick. Then the one as well was to help cats more, which I really struggled with because I couldn't like go to the shelters because I was like trying to have a kid and all the stuff with that. And like I couldn't, but then we raised money on the podcast recently. We raised $2,900 for the Forever After Rescue. So I feel like that was a tick. Not that that's like an ongoing thing. You always want to be helping cats, but that was something I wanted to do. And then the 5th one was do something exciting for my career. And I do think that like the way I've covered Survivor this year with like the daily recaps has been really exciting. It's been like my favorite time of covering Survivor. Australia versus the world was massive, but I think this is something really different. I wanted to get out of just doing Survivor. So Gussin Around is that. And I was really dedicated to the resolutions, which you paid so much attention to. And this is that. So I think now we could have launched this podcast all year, but we've been working. Look at the graphic, look at the theme song. We've been working on it for months. And I feel like now we're at a point where we're releasing it during footy finals, when both our teams were in the footy finals. We are releasing it right after Australian Survivor versus the world, which was huge. We've just announced our baby to the world. We've got this trip coming up in a few weeks where we're going to Hawaii and San Francisco. We're going to start announcing like the gender of our baby. Like it just feels like it's a big time. And I'm like, well, it's like overwhelming. It's like maybe not the time to start a podcast, but I also feel like it's the perfect time because it's so interesting to me, at least, and to you, the some who may stay, maybe. And so that's my why and my when. We had questions. Do you have more than that? I say hostingly.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
No.
Everything I do is a lot, Peter.
No more questions. Yeah, we've never podcasted together, so I didn't really know.
I remember that my brother Jason distinctly was like, it was funny because I'm so full on and you're so laid back that like it's an interesting dynamic. So I'm interested to see how that goes.
I started podcasting full on. Like I would have the notebook, and over the years I just put down the notebook and I'm like, I'll wing it.
Put down the notebook, bro.
I don't know what you're quoting.
It's Wendell. Peter's a Survivor fan as well.
I am, but you're gonna. It's new market. It's less in-jokes.
All right. So then, okay, and then so who are we? So have we done that part?
Is this a list that we're ticking off?
Yes,
what is
happening? I literally showed you the list. You are so irritating. Literally, who, what, when, and why.
I can't read her handwriting. Handwriting is deplorable.
I talked you through it. I've written it down.
Which is something that comes up through all of our lives together, especially in birthday cards, where always. I cannot read anything that she writes me.
Anyway, so for the people who just found us
what did you write in my card this year?
What?
It was I couldn't read her handwriting, and it said something like, I don't want to misquote.
Now we're going to butcher it. Okay, we'll get it for the next one.
No, it was like, it
was like, I can't do it. Anyway, it made it unnecessarily dirty. That's what it was. And
I was like, "Oh, what a great card!" It's just like I didn't write that.
That's not what I wrote. Yeah. It was Anyway, we'll get it. We'll get it better when I remember. This is going well.
I think she's purposely forgotten.
But no, maybe. But the people who
next up, our OnlyFans.
Oh my God, our parents will listen to this. Luckily, they don't know what that is.
No, it's fine.
You've really thrown me. For the people who just found us on YouTube, we are a married couple. Clearly, okay, whatever. We've done that. We've been together for, Peter, how many years?
April 2012.
No, 2013. 12 years.
So
12
close.
and a half years. No, it's not. We've been married for, Peter?
December 2019.
Yeah. So almost 6 years. We've done long distance for over 5 years. We've lived in Melbourne and Sydney. So we're going to talk about all of that. But I think at the moment, what we wanted to talk about was, this time in our lives. So it's been an exciting time. I just covered Australian Survivor vs. World. I do say we. Peter's a big part of that mentally.
And physically.
How?
I'm not sure. It just felt the right thing to say.
How was that for you? How did you feel Australian Survivor? How was this whole experience the last month? Because it was a month ago that it started. That's been 1 month.
It's a lot. I hear one side of every podcast, and
so you say you don't listen, but you do listen.
I only listen to you.
Peter's so supportive. So we're coming across like you don't even understand. I'll come out of a podcast. Peter's listened to just my side. He's like, that was a banger.
What else am I meant to say?
No, he believes it. He's my biggest fan. Don't even. Sorry, you were saying?
No, I'm sure it's good. I'm sure there's you're definitely my favorite out of the ones I've listened to. I mean, I only hear your side of it, but I'm sure it's fine.
I'm sure I was right. But I mean, like, I think just mentally, because I think that, like, I mean, this was a big one. Like, this was like, Peter actually is, because I interviewed Sari. I don't know how much context to give people. My favorite Survivor player of all time, and I was like weeping. And then Peter watched the interview, and Peter was weeping, and I tried to film him, and he wouldn't let me. So Peter has been on the emotional journey, like, with me this whole time. We announced our baby to the world, which you were so okay with doing. I did it on the podcast. Peter wasn't even there. Why were you so okay? Why did you let me do that?
Why did you tell people I was crying?
I love doing that. Peter cries all the time.
I do.
You'll see.
Yeah. I don't think it's embarrassing. It's a problem. Yeah. I can't, if someone's crying, I will automatically also cry, which is really uncomfortable in movies. And whenever I go, there was a Telstra ad, a telco ad for people who don't know what it is. And it was like a really sad telco ad, and the person was crying. The one with the
Avril Lavigne song?
I don't remember.
Because that one made me cry.
Whatever it was the person was crying on the ad. So every time the ad came on, I would cry, which is really uncomfortable and awkward because it was on all the time. I was just crying all the time.
Yeah. My favorite was when we saw Moana 2 and you cried the whole movie. And then afterwards you were like, I did not think that was a good movie. I just cried because Moana means so much to me. And you cried like the whole movie. And you're like, but it was like a 4 out of 10.
It wasn't good. But I really liked Moana.
Yeah. Yeah. What were we saying?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, okay. So we announced the baby.
Never ask what we were saying because my answer is always going to be I don't know.
It's been a big couple of weeks. So I announced the baby on the podcast. Okay, I want to talk about why that was important to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to take it back, so we got pregnant at the beginning of the year, and that was great. It was a really exciting time. We were super excited to have a baby. The baby's name was Peggy. We have cats named Angelica and Eliza, which might make sense to some of you. And if it does, you are absolutely in the right place. Yeah. And then like just before 10 weeks, we found out that there was no more baby. And I had like all these hopes and dreams. Like, and I'd never for 1 second thought it would go badly. Like even me, and I'm a very anxious person. Like even I was so committed. And my mom is the most anxious person. And even when I told her, she was like, I never for 1 second even doubted it. I'm like, that was the problem. We were like way too invested. And I'd like planned of like how I would, announce it and tell people and like all these dreams that were like dashed. Which was so painful because then I would go through the motions of those. Like I'd be at those events thinking like I was going to tell people here and I didn't. And then when we were pregnant this time, I was like very sad. Like those 6 weeks, like the first 6 weeks that I knew about the pregnancy up until week 10 were, I think, my worst 6 weeks of this year.
Yeah.
I was so down. And I think like the two things for me were that I had this like anticipatory grief. I think that's what it's called. Like I was already waiting to lose the baby. Like God forbid, I couldn't imagine all those exciting things, like telling people in an excited way. Like I could only picture telling them it had gone badly, which was not great. And then I also think like I wasn't ready to, like I was still really grieving Peggy. So, and I am always, but like I was like, oh, my time with Peggy is over. And I hadn't talked about it, hadn't found a way to talk about it like I'd pictured talking about, which we now are, which is kind of great. But like I wanted to like spread Peggy's impact on me and like all the things that I'd like learned from that and like my experience with it. And I hadn't been able to do that. And those first 6 weeks was so hard. And then when we had the second scan, which was when we'd lost the first baby, and that went well. And then we had the great blood tests and we found out the gender and like we started telling people and like it started like ramping up. I was still like really uncomfortable telling people. It's still because it just didn't feel real. Like I didn't want to jinx it. I'd gone from like the first pregnancy, which was like definitely happening. It's like the best, most exciting thing ever. Like we were like 4 weeks pregnant and we were like, like no, there was no doubt, there was no blood test yet. And it was still, you know what I mean? And then to where I was, it was kind of different from you, but I was just like, I couldn't believe it was real at all. And so to get to the point where I was announcing it on the podcast last week, I think is like the first time in this whole pregnancy, like it's changed so much for me to get that excitement back and to get that realness back and to like, now I'm going to cry. I don't want to do it though. Like
I'll face this way.
I realized these things that I hadn't got to have the first time. And I hadn't even dared to kind of hope and dream. Like every time I'd catch myself, I'd be like, maybe I'll announce it on the finale podcast. Like that timing will work perfectly. And then I'm like, don't do that. Don't hope. Because that's like, that'll kill you. And then for that to happen and to go well and to have that excitement and to have the feedback and everyone's been so kind. I don't know, it was very healing. Like it's all very healing from like the trauma of this year. So anyway, that was my perspective on it. I don't think we talked about it. So
I mean, we've talked about it.
Yeah, we talked about it in different ways. I don't think I've said it like that out loud before.
Yeah, I guess mine was a little different. When we, I guess, had our first baby scan, the first baby, and everything was fine, we had a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Well, firstly, I didn't know that the obstetrician said it was almost like 30% of pregnancies end in a miscarriage originally until the first heartbeat, and then it's down to like 3%.
Yeah.
So numbers guy. So I'm like 3%. That's pretty good odds. And then, it gets better every week after that. And for me, fortunately, my co-host, JB, was also pregnant. And we had discussed, we were kind of like itching to tell each other a bit too early. And, we did tell each other, and he was pretty much one of the first, if not first person I told. And it was just like, this is crazy because our babies are going to be a week apart. Like, we're going to have
like now. They must be having their baby like right now.
It's soon, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, our babies are going to be born a week apart. This is crazy. Like, we're going to go through this whole journey together, and this is like this amazing thing. And he had his scan. He's like, yeah, it's all good. Everything's great. I'm like, fantastic. We've got our scan. It's all going to be good. It's going to be great. And then we had our scan, and I just remember I walked out of there and I texted him and I just said, we lost the baby. And I'm like, this is. I didn't think this was a possibility. I mean, our experience, it was quite hard. Like, we were the last appointment of the day, so we got like
that was so fortuitous because I was like screaming in the doctor's office. Thank God everyone had left.
No, we were crying, but then we also got like pushed out onto the street because
I think we would have been anyway. What are they going to do? Like, we're just going to hang out there in the waiting room.
Well, we could have cried in the waiting room. I guess we were just crying on the street.
I don't want to cry in the waiting room with all the pregnant people.
Actually, either way, it was what happened
was I went to Sushi Train, where I hadn't been eating egg sushi. I was kind of like iffy on what I should be eating. I don't like eat meat or fish anyway. So then I just went there and I ordered 5 plates of egg sushi and I just ate them while sobbing. And they did not know what to do with me. They just kept bringing me egg sushi and I just kept like, bring it. I'm laughing now, but it was like the worst day ever. And then we're just on the street crying, and like a sweet man was like, "Are you guys okay?" It was like, clearly not. But
like, not
it's
okay.
fine. Like, it's
I was just crying.
Yeah,
on the
like
street.
we literally just were openly just crying in the street, eating sushi.
I wasn't in the restaurant.
Peter didn't want to come in and watch me eat my sushi.
No.
Why? I can't imagine why not. Why you didn't want to be part of that spectacle.
I didn't even. Yeah, I spoke on the phone.
Peter was crying outside.
I was crying on the phone.
Yeah,
but. Yeah, I think like what's been difficult is, and I'm extremely excited for JB, and I am very, very, very excited to meet his baby and partner. But I think what's difficult
it's a lot easier to be excited now.
Yeah, it's a lot easier now. But I think, every milestone that he was having, I was kind of like, well, I should be having that milestone. And I knew where I was meant to be up to at every stage of the pregnancy.
I had the exact same thing.
He was at that stage of the pregnancy, and that was a bit difficult. And of course, nothing against my absolutely lovely slackers in my Slack channel, the podcast listeners, and they were really supportive around JB and all really excited. But it hurt. Like, I would. It would sting like every time. I'm like, this is painful. It should be like our shared happiness, and I know I couldn't really share it with anybody, and it was quite painful. And there's also jealousy at the same time, where I'm like, I want to have that too. And I think what's difficult as well is, it takes a while to get pregnant. It just doesn't happen straight away. And after you lose one, you're like, when's it going to happen again? Like, how long am I going to have to wait now? Like, this isn't fair. We got robbed. We've lost one, and we don't know when the next one's going to be. When you are pregnant and it's all fine, you'd lock in, in 9 months' time, I will be having a baby at this point in time. This is where I'll be with my work. This is where I'll be with this. You plan your leave, you plan your life. You're like, at this point in time, this is where I'll be. And when you're starting again, you don't know where you're going to be. I planned, for leave from my job at that time, and I'm like, everything's up in the air now. I don't know what I'll be doing, and I don't know when it will happen, and I don't know if it will happen.
That's the worst part of trying for a kid at any time, but it's really bad after a loss.
Well, yeah, it was very difficult, and I think like I personally found it very hard to, I guess, cope mentally. I mean, this was the first time ever, coupled with a couple of other things, my mental health has always been rock solid for my entire life. I've never had
We've really relied on
any
that.
issues.
It's very important to the family.
Never, I thought indestructible.
You have to be the rock.
And then this year, I wasn't, because I wasn't okay. I was doing very badly.
Yeah, it's very difficult for me. I'm not a good rock.
You did fantastic.
I really rose to the
awesome.
occasion. But like, because I needed to. But I was like, this was not what we agreed upon when we got together. I'm the basket case and you are the rock. I cannot go from basket to rock.
You did it.
I can only do it for short spurts. Like I need you to be the rock. I can't keep rising to the occasion.
She was great. And I, you know, I went to therapy and everything as well. And it was just, yeah, it was very difficult. And that I knew it would be okay when we were pregnant again, but I also hated that I had to rely on getting pregnant again for it to be okay. And that it didn't feel like a fair way of like recovery. It's like, you know, if your pet dies and you just get a brand new pet and you're just like, oh, well, you know, I've got a new pet now. It's like replacing it. And that also felt
you literally
unfair.
kept saying new pet.
What?
You literally kept saying to me, I need a new puppy.
Look, I was in a dark place. I don't even remember what I was saying.
You said the words new puppy multiple times, meaning, yeah.
Well, I have regrets that you're bringing it up on the podcast. But anyway.
That's how you handled it.
Yeah, no, I was
You're allowed to handle
very
it
upset.
how you handle it.
And look, getting pregnant again did make me feel better immediately. And then it was funny because, as Shannon mentioned, she was
funny.
She was taking it badly. To be blunt, being pregnant, she was taking it badly.
Very badly.
And I was so excited and I was so happy. And then I would try and like talk about it with Shannon. She's not interested. She's like, how about we deal with my pregnancy when I'm at my 10-week scan? And we're like 4 weeks in, and I'm like, this is going to be a long 6 weeks. I'm so excited and I want to, you know, celebrate. And I can't because you're taking it so badly. So we were in completely different places and handling it very, very differently as well. And that was interesting just to like see there's no right or wrong way of handling it. But we've always been on the same page, I think, with how we've handled almost everything. So this was the first time where I'm like, hey, this is a bit strange. We're just like not on the same page with how we're both handling this. And that was a bit eye-opening as well. But obviously we managed to get through it together. But it was certainly surprising not to be on the same page as you for something.
Well, I have so much to say. Firstly, the jealousy thing. I had that obviously with everyone. I remember my brow lady was like exactly how far along I would have been. She was like, oh, I'm going to be going on maternity leave. And I was like, I want to wish the best for you, brow lady. Like, you're so sweet and you're so good at doing my brows. But like, this is killing me. Because I could see, I'm like, is that how, like, that's what I would look like? That really hurt. Like, it was everyone. Social media, I was like muting words and it was finding new ways to find me. Like, social media, this is the thing about social media. When you are pregnant, you only get miscarriage content. When you miscarry, you only get pregnancy content. I don't know how they know to do that, but it's a sick joke. That's the first thing. The second thing is that, we were on the same page through everything. Like when we had the miscarriage, because I know a lot of like women have said to me, like their husband wasn't as upset. Maybe they weren't as connected to the pregnancy. You were so connected to the pregnancy and always have been because you run around me and we would sing Your Obedient Servant from Hamilton. So like we talked about it all the time. We talked about it like for the first pregnancy, like 100% of the time. And then when the miscarriage happened, like you were equally as pained as me. And we used to like take days. I'd be like, it's my day to be really sad. And you would take care of me. And then the next day would be your day. And I like that a lot. Like other people were like, okay, well, my spouse can like take care of me more. I'm like, no, we take care of each other. Like I would have felt very sad if you hadn't felt it the same way I did. I felt so understood by you. We're completely on the same page. And then when we had the second pregnancy, we were like in two completely different worlds. You were away actually when I found out I was pregnant. And then you came back and I think it shocked you how not okay I was. And you were like so excited. Like we had a fight. Yeah. Like you were like, be happy. I'm like, oh, okay, that's so, I solved it. You solved the issue. I'll just be really happy. And I hated those 6 weeks. I had no joy. The only one moment of joy I remember having was when we went to the first scan, which meant nothing to me because we'd already completed a first scan. But like we came back with the little ultrasound pictures and we like showed the cats and they sniffed it. I liked that moment. But like other than that, there was not one moment of joy that entire 6 weeks gave me. But with Peggy, it had been all joy. You know, like everything was joyous, and I wasn't even feeling that sick with this pregnancy, which was famous last words, because since then I have felt so sick. But up to the 10-week mark, I wasn't feeling that sick. With Peggy, I had felt so sick, and yet like it was such a joy to be sick. Like it was so fun. We were having the best time. And then I was so resentful of this pregnancy, whose name is Neville, for the people watching.
You have to explain why it's Neville.
We're watching Harry Potter. Peter wanted to name it a boy name. He was manifesting that he had dreamed it was a boy. But Harry is Peter's grandpa and Ron is my grandpa. We went down to Neville. And we do love Neville. So the baby is Neville. But yeah, I didn't feel any connection to the pregnancy. I felt very like resentful because I was like, where's the joy? Like, I'm like, I haven't had one good moment with this pregnancy. I was like, I miss Peggy. You're like, how can you say you miss Peggy now? Like, and I think I really did. I was still in so much grief. And always, like, I'm still in grief. But you know what I mean? Like, I think and you were like, we solved the issue. We got the new puppy. And I was like, please stop saying new puppy. And that was that conversation over and over again.
Would have chosen my words carefully if I knew it was going to come up on a podcast,
Yes.
you know.
Well, you should know anything can come up on a podcast.
Oh dear.
But yeah, it was weird to be so out of sync. And the only way we solved that was what? Eventually being in sync.
Yes.
Yes. Well, do we have advice for anyone who might be going
I think there's a couple of things there. I think firstly, one of my favorite days of the entire year is my Slack chop, as we call it, where we go and we have like a podcast get together, kind of like a know-it-alls in Shan's world.
Mm-hmm.
And it's already like one of my favorite days of the year. But then, like, imagine finding out you're pregnant on one of your favorite days of the year. It's like an insane day of the year. Really fun day.
I didn't like that day at all. When we found out about the second pregnancy, I literally cried. I literally called my immediate family and told them in the saddest possible way. I was like, I'm pregnant.
I think one of the hard things as well when having a miscarriage is that if you're not up to the point in time in which you've told people, I guess there's no rules in when you can and can't tell people. Everyone's like, tell them after the 13-week scan. And I get it. Like, I understand why people do that. I actually don't get it.
I think it's so dumb. But anyway, then I'm doing it. And I think it's stupid.
But anyway. Yeah, but what ends up happening is we didn't tell most people. And then we had to tell, like, we were acting weird, obviously.
No, I told them immediately. I texted like literally my friends. I was like, I was pregnant and now I've had a miscarriage. It was like, that's the worst way to tell people.
Such a bad way of being like.
It's awful.
Yeah, we were pregnant, but now we're not. Like, it's awful. And it's kind of one, like, you build up in your mind, there's going to be this moment where you get to tell your best mates and your friends and you're like, I'm pregnant, and everyone's like really happy and excited.
But the funny thing about that is, as well, as I was like, if I get pregnant again, I will tell people immediately, because it could never be worse than not telling them and then telling them I was pregnant. But then when I did get pregnant again, I was like, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't, because I'm like, all these moments are being robbed from me. Like, I'm going to tell them and I'm not happy. I couldn't call another person and be like, so sad telling them this news. So I kept holding off. But I want to
texting people.
Yeah, I hate. Peter said, like, even after all the scans, when everything was good, I would go out with people. I would go out with my mom and like a friend and like a family friend and say like to my mom, you say it. He's like, no. I'm like, say it now. I couldn't get the words out. He's like, stop texting people. I had friends angrily being like, why did you text this to me? I'm like, I don't want to say it out loud because it doesn't feel real. Even after the even when things were getting. There was just so much trauma. Like, even when things were better after the second scan and like I did start feeling really positive, it was like another 2 to 3 weeks where I could like comfortably say the words. The fact that I got to that point where I could announce it with an ultrasound on the podcast, you understand like the leaps and bounds in such a short amount of time. I could not say it out loud a month ago. That's crazy.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
Yeah, thanks.
You were saying that you found out you were pregnant and that's what you were saying.
Yeah, I think like, yeah, it felt unfair in that it was being robbed of those good times. You know, you get to tell your parents that you're pregnant, and it feels like you get to do that for the first time once, right? And they find out, for both of our sides of the family, it's the first grandkid as well, so they're like extremely excited, and it just felt like we were robbed of it, you know, because then when we were pregnant the second time, you know, you don't get that same reaction. So
also, you're not saying it in any way the same way.
No.
I definitely wasn't.
No, but yeah.
I definitely wasn't like filming people to tell them that I like.
Yeah, so we filmed the first time and the second time we didn't.
We met my parents at the airport. That was not happening the second time.
It felt like we were, robbed of it.
I didn't feel that
a
robbed.
Little bit.
I was actually kind of happy that was always going to be Peggy's time. But I feel like I'm way more attached to Peggy than you are.
Well, now.
I still love Peggy. I feel like Peggy changed our whole lives. Like, I'm such a different person than I would ever have been without Peggy.
What did Peggy teach you?
Oh my God, like Peggy taught me so much. Like, firstly, Peggy...
Glad I asked.
Do you not feel this way?
It depends what you're going to say. You are underestimating it.
Peggy literally is the reason we went to Europe. Like, we were meant to go to Europe, and then when we got pregnant, we were like, oh my God, it's our last chance to go to Europe. So we went to Europe. The whole time we were in Europe, I was like, thank you, Peggy. This is such a great trip.
Yeah,
that's kind of amazing. Peggy taught me to take care of myself. Like, when we were pregnant with Peggy, it was right before we went into doing Brains Be Born 2, the Australian Survivor season. And I'm always very anxious during Strand Survivor. It's a very bad mental time for me usually. And I'm always on Twitter, like fighting with people, which is terrible. I've been trying to kick that habit for ages and I didn't know if I could. And I literally was like, no more, any of those things we were going to do are like out the window. And I was so much better because I knew I had to protect Peggy. Like she helped me protect myself.
Yeah.
And I have been better ever since. Like years of therapy did not help as much as just doing that for Peggy did. That's
I wasn't
massive to
fighting
me.
people online, so I didn't need to learn
You
the
do
same
fight people
things.
online sometimes.
I'm very rarely online. Barely. I don't even
It's
have
true.
social media.
It's true. You're not like, but anyway, I'm just saying that like she changed my perspective. She's the first time we got to be pregnant. Like we spent 6 weeks almost with Peggy and we had the best times. Like that means so much to me. Like that'll always matter to me.
Yeah.
Like she, like, yeah. And I feel like you were attached to the pregnancy, like the idea of what a baby could be. So then when that didn't happen, like you've moved on to the next one. And I see it as like two very different things. Like I have Neville now and I love Neville. And I loved Peggy. Like I'll never get that back.
Don't cry.
I'm just saying, I like it's dumb because like Peggy was actually like not a baby. Like Peggy was never a viable baby. Like Peggy was cells. I don't think that Peggy was like a baby I could have had. It's not like I missed what she could have been. Like I actually just like loved what she was. Why? In the first podcast. Anyway, it's not going to be a miscarriage podcast, but that like
I hope not. That'd be not good episode.
No, this is it. This is the God forbid. This is like the one time. I'm just saying that like I loved her what she did, not what she needed to become. Is that fair?
Yeah, if it's fair if that's how you feel, I can't tell you how to feel.
But you don't feel that way.
No, I feel more hurt. I think I feel more resentful.
And maybe you should have brought tissues. You know, you said that you should get tissues. Anyway,
yeah, she said, don't bring me tissues.
I said I'd be fine. It's fine. No more Peggy. We'll move on soon. What were you saying?
No, that's all I was saying was I felt a bit more kind of resentful. You
felt resentful of Peggy? It's not Peggy's fault. Someone's fault.
I know it's no one's fault, but I as I said, I felt unfair and I felt like it was robbed. And I think obviously the loss took a lot from me. Right. You focused more on the loss. I actually focused on what I gained. I was like, and that's why I think my mental health, even after the miscarriage, was good. Because I was like, it's been such a painful loss, but it was like better to have loved and lost. Like I still would have done it and I still would do it again. I wouldn't. I would do it again. Never. Yeah. If you told me now that we could have just gotten pregnant. That's insane. The second, yeah. 100%. You know, we wouldn't have gone to Europe. And also, it's not just that much about Europe. It's not just Europe. It's not just Europe. It's not Europe is the least of the things. Like Peggy changed me forever. I would never go back to the person I was before her. Yeah, I do like this version a little bit better. No, You're taking care of yourself a lot more than before. If you told me that we could have just gotten pregnant, which would have been painful in its own right to have like even long without getting pregnant, whatever. It was very painful anyway. It couldn't have been worse. But like, we could have just gotten pregnant with Neville, and I never would choose that. I'm so grateful to have had Peggy. We disagree. It's good to have disagreements on podcasts. Do we regret our miscarriage? What a wonderful podcast topic. Are other podcasts doing this? See, I think this is good content. It's not going to be the title of the episode. Do we regret them? People are going to look at it and be like, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Don't tell people what we talked about. Like, if you are here watching this, you're in the vault. But anyway, I'm surprised you disagree so much. I feel like, and we just had such a good 6 weeks. I understand all the points you're making individually. Yeah. But the final solution of like not regretting a miscarriage feels insane to me. It was worth it. It was worth absolutely not. It was. And believe me, I married a crazy person. No, it pained me. I'm not saying I didn't feel the loss acutely. I grieved. I cried every day. Yes. But I'm just saying that like, it was worth it. I'm definitely right about this. I'm sorry. I'm like, as you said, I'm always right on the podcast, right? Like I'm definitely right about this. I'd be interested to hear other people's perspectives because as I said, too. Yeah. Because a lot of people have been through it. As well. Yeah, and so many people have been through it, and I just didn't know, and I don't know. I still don't know. I mean, no one, especially men, don't really talk about it, so I'm fully unaware. And I guess maybe girls talk about it more. Again, I have no idea. But I don't know what's normal. I guess is this normal? I don't know. So it would be nice to know. Be crying now. I'm pregnant. Yeah, hormones and stuff. Why? I just it would be an interesting discussion for research purposes.
Do we have more on the miscarriage, or do we move
I
on?
was going to say, she's got dark for episode 1.
You said, should we talk about the miscarriage on the first podcast? I said
no.
You said no, but
Yeah.
as everything in our relationship, what you say does not matter.
Does not count.
It doesn't at all. But I think it was impossible not to talk about it because we had to talk about where we are with the baby in our lives. It's a big part of our year and where we are in life right now. It would feel so disingenuous to not talk about it, and then that's not the point of Gussing Around.
That's
right?
true.
So, but it's not going to be every podcast. This will not be the miscarriage podcast, hopefully. Do you have more, or should I move on? Because I have a notebook.
How many more things on your list are there after miscarriage?
It was such a big one. It was such a big part. If you'd read the list, you would have known.
I can't read your writing.
I talked you through it.
I wasn't listening.
We were going to talk about covering Australia versus the world.
Oh, that's a thing. Oh yeah, there was a lot that happened.
Peter, why did you not bring this up when we had a conversation before the podcast?
Again, I was not listening.
Yeah, what did you want to talk? Would you want to say anything about it?
No. End segment.
Peter, that's not podcasting.
No, there was a lot of things that happened. I don't know how much you want to say, so
everything.
I feel like I'm not
Gussing
going
Around. This is the vault. We just talked about our miscarriage for
sued.
so long. Oh. Okay, what are you going to say?
No, I'm not going to say anything. I was going to see what you say, and then I'll
sued?
bounce off that.
No, what were you going to say?
No, I'm not going to get sued. I'm just joking.
Oh, so you want to talk? So, okay. So I was going to say Australia versus the world, for the people here for Peter, or you just found us on YouTube and you've somehow stuck around, in which case, who are you? What has appealed to you? If anyone is still here through that. So Australia versus the world was the culmination of my whole 8 years of podcasting. It's a global survivor season. I'm a global survivor podcast host, and it was all leading up to that. I thought I was actually going to be giving birth imminently. Even when we were trying for a kid, I remember calling my mom and being like, what if I'm having a kid when I need to interview Cerise? She was like, you will do it from the hospital. These are thoughts I've had in the timeline of trying to have a kid and being pregnant. And then with Channel 10, not Channel 10, to be fair, it wasn't 10's fault, but they partnered with a different podcast. Was this what you were going to talk about?
Sure, but it wasn't Channel 10.
It's not 10. I feel so bad. 10 always get thrown under the bus. I love 10. They've always been incredibly good to me. It wasn't 10 at all. It was Endemol, the production company. It's completely their prerogative. Maybe we will get sued. No. It's their prerogative who they want to partner with. But I felt hurt as a podcaster with, I think, quite a big podcast. We do quite well.
I don't know why you're saying it in a weird way. You have the largest international survivor audience out of all of the podcasts, probably all of the podcasts combined, I would assume.
That's mean.
No, a numbers guy.
Yeah.
I'm just being realistic.
I thought
it's very likely.
I thought we could have gotten a call or had a conversation if they were going to partner with a different podcast. If they were going to partner with a podcast, I would have thought we would have been in the discussion.
Just a due diligence call.
Yeah.
Just saying, hey, this is what I do. You might not be the right fit. What are your thoughts on this? Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. And they flew out, dropped your bus to Samoa, which could I have gone to Samoa? My best friend was getting married. We were trying to have a kid.
You wouldn't have been able to.
I couldn't have covered the show.
You wouldn't have been able to do it.
But it was not about whether I should have gone or could have gone. It was about, it was like an insult. I felt really insulted. Is that so entitled? Because I'm not owed anything.
No, absolutely not owed. But I think
it's because you
I
allow this in me. Now I'm entitled.
No, I think just from a business perspective, if you're trying to get people to listen,
you might be a little biased.
Okay, but if everyone's listening to one person at a rate more than 10 times other people,
I don't know.
I don't know whatever the numbers are, but it's a lot. And if that's the case, have a conversation with that person. I just think from a business perspective, it's a strange business perspective not to do that.
Yeah. So,
and I know because I'm your husband that no one reached out to you. So I find it very strange.
Yeah. So look, it's not Drop Your Bus fault. I want to say that. Firstly, Sean from Drop Your Bus reached out to me with the most lovely voice note. I said to him, I was like, this is 100 times more than you needed to do. My friend Nick, who was the reason I got into podcasting, was also on it. And that was one of the hardest parts for me because Nick was so nice. Nick was reaching out to me, seeing that I was okay during his amazing success. But I
I've met
couldn't.
some very lovely people along your survivor
Yes,
journey.
incredible people. But Nick, I mean, just had Nick here over the weekend, and he's one of my favorite people. And I couldn't support him the way I would ideally want to as a friend, because the only way to get through it for me was to like stay in my own lane. But like my feelings around it were a few things. Again, like when it had happened a year ago, I didn't know the exact constraints. I didn't know that they'd like fully partner with another podcast, but even like just not getting the call, I was very upset. And then I got pregnant, and then I was like, I don't really care anymore. And then I lost the pregnant. You've heard all about the miscarriage podcast. Yeah. And then like when it was coming back around, I was either not pregnant or then I was pregnant, but I was sad about it. So like I was in my head about it, and then it was like worse than I ever could have imagined. Like it was such a slap in the face. And I had all of these feelings around like, what if I'm going to have a kid? And like, you know, I think a lot of expectant mothers might feel about like what's going to happen to my identity and my passions. Like I don't know what's going to happen with the podcast. Which is another reason like Gussing Around is, I think, a good idea, in the hope that we could kind of do that and maybe like merge those worlds. But I felt like more pressurized than ever. And that is an incredibly high bar. About what my career is going to look like. And I felt like so hard done by as I like was doing all this prep work for the season while like vomiting, and I'm podcasting and I'm like, vomiting on either side of the podcast. I'm like, no one's working harder than me.
Vomiting while watching 50 episodes of Survivor Quebec,
67 episodes.
whatever, in another language. And then she's not eating and she's vomiting. And I'm like, no one's doing this. People aren't even watching Survivor Quebec anyway, and you're literally watching it while vomiting. I
was like, I am a badass. Like, there was one day where I did 3 podcasts and I did a panel talk for work, and I threw up 3 times, and I was like, I'm the coolest person ever. Like, I am woman today. You know, Serena Williams.
I am woman.
Yeah, like literally, I never felt so connected to my like female empowerment and strength. Serena Williams won the Australian Open while pregnant in her first trimester. I think about it all the time, and I think I'm so different from Serena Williams. Like, we are such different people.
But today you are the same.
Yeah, no, I couldn't do the Australian Open. but this was my Australian Open, you know what I mean? And she couldn't drop a set. She knew like if she dropped a set that she would lose because she was exhausted. I can't get up the stairs.
Yeah, that's true. But that was before
at the best of times, yeah. Anyway, whatever. I was just like, this is so unfair. I'm pregnant and I'm angry, and I podcasted through a miscarriage the first time, and I'm working so hard and no one called me. I was very like resentful. Yes, very. No, this is the one with the miscarriage was fine.
Yeah, bring it down.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, well, anyway, I was unhappy, and before the season I was like, I don't know how the season will go. Like, I'm in such a bad place with it. But then I loved the season. You know, I had the best time. I stayed in my own lane. I stayed away from it. I didn't think about it. Like, we did our own thing. We did really well. I talked to Sari. I talked to Parvati. Like, I've had these amazing experiences.
And the recap, bitches.
Yeah, I had a wonderful time. Like, I enjoyed every single second of it.
You were the best.
Yes. But then this is what I was thinking about. I was actually talking to Nick about this the other day.
Except Chappelle, who's the worst.
Peter, he loves you.
He promised. Actually, can I quickly? Sorry, I'm cutting you off. Chappelle deleted me on Twitter. And then had to re-add me
because he forgot who you were because you were under pistol.
Because it was under pistol.
That's so fair.
And he had to re-add me.
That one's on you. This is because you created a persona for 10 years, which was ridiculous.
He deleted me.
Yeah, that's on you, Team Chappelle. No, I was talking about this with Nick. It's like it was really fun, but also the podcast did really well. And Nick's like, and I'm like, I shouldn't just be having fun when things are going well. Because then what if things go badly? Like, what if I can't keep up? Like, what if I have a kid and I can't keep up with the grind of working so hard to be number one and like all these insane pressures that I put on myself? And then I'm not number one. Like, I should enjoy it just because it's a dream and it's fun and I get to cover Survivor and do all these cool things. And like, I don't know if I would because I put so much pressure on myself and I'm like so competitive. And it's like, just enjoy like where you are. I'm like, no, like it's like what would have been better this season would have been to like learn the lesson of like sometimes you lose and it's okay. But actually what I think I did was I was like, I found a different way to win. You know what I mean?
How many lessons did you get? Oh, you're still going.
That's the whole point. I'm saying that shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't matter, but
it does. But it shouldn't. That's exactly my point.
Perspective.
No, it's not from. That's my whole point. Is that the night that the season? This is the first night of the season, the premiere night. I could not sleep. I kept checking the charts. I just wanted to make sure we did well. My heart was racing. I was like, this isn't even fair to the baby. Like, I was like, I need to get into a place with this show where I don't have to win. And like, I can just cover it and have fun because it's fun. And I do have fun. I love every single part of the creative process of podcasting. And my lesson was that then the charts did come out and we were third on the charts. And I was like, I won. You know what I mean? And like, that's not the lesson. That I didn't learn anything. Like, I need to be, you know what I mean? I'm not being,
No.
I'm being arrogant, and I'm not meaning to. I'm just saying that, like, I podcast about a lot of different things. Like, the US Survivor podcast I do is a lot more niche. Like, not everyone, you know, like the Australian Survivor podcast does well. But like, I enjoy podcasting to podcast, but the pressure I put on myself, especially for Australian Survivor, like, I should just be able to enjoy it. And that's not what I learned. I don't think that this was a victory, is what I'm saying.
Oh. Yeah, but how many listens?
No, that's no, Peter. Like, and that's the thing. And you hype me up, and like,
because I know the number's high.
Pete, it's not about the number.
Nearly got more listens in 3 weeks than my entire podcasting across 10 years.
That is not true. Really? But you're like, whatever. But that's the point. But that's the point, is that you have this incredible community, and it's not about the numbers. It is literally about what you've created.
Stop caring about the numbers. Just care about the community.
Exactly. It's quality over quantity, although you do well. But I'm just saying that, like, that's the right attitude. I need that attitude.
It's also difficult. Like, the more people in your community, you're going to have some bad eggs, and unless it's like regulated, which yours isn't, realistically.
It's a good community, but there are some bad apples.
Bad eggs.
Like, you know, they're trolls, whatever. Like, they're not in the community. They don't count.
Yeah, but bad eggs kind of spoil it a little bit, and it does, you know, make you feel bad. And I guess, at least in my community, fortunately, you know, the bad eggs, they try and get in, but it self-regulates. Like, people will call out bad behavior and be like, hey, this isn't okay. You don't belong here. And they do a great job at keeping out the bad eggs. So we have never really, across 10 years of podcasting, only once has somebody really come after me ever online. One time.
Oh, that's lovely. Well done.
And it stuck with me as well.
I'm like, you do podcasting right. It means it's the right amount of value in your life, which is you really care about it, but it's not too much. You have a great community. You know exactly how much you want to do, and you invest in that. My relationship with podcasting is that I put so much pressure on myself. I care way too much. The highs are so high, and they're frequent, and then the lows are low. Like, and that's concerning because I can't control those lows, and they will affect me. So I think my relationship with podcasting is fairly toxic. It's been a lot better this year, mostly thanks to Peggy. I feel like this year is the year I finally like conquered it mentally in many ways. But I still think that so much of it is like, I am competitive. I care what people think still, less than I used to.
A lot less.
Yes, which is, and still so much. Like, I don't know how I used to survive. Yeah, I just think that, like, I've said this before. I was thinking about this podcasting in the last few weeks. I was like, if this was like a friendship or a romantic relationship, like, I would end it. Like, it is not a stable environment for me. And it's more stable now than it's ever been. Like, I really think I've done it now. But even so, it's not good for me. The way that you as a stable person, like, you've done it well, I think. Like, you have it's where it should be in your life. Like, for me, it's like overwhelming in terms, and this is, I've done this in therapy for years, but like, it's too much part of my identity. I attach too much to it. You shouldn't care that much about anything. My therapist has said that to me many times, like, even good things. But that's not me. Like, I care so much. And I think it would be good to learn how to care less. That's not the lesson that I took from the season. But I had a wonderful time, for anyone asking. Does that answer all questions?
I don't know what's next on the list.
Well, and if you're okay with it, I mean, you're the one who has to pick up the pieces. Like, if you're okay, like, supporting me through the highs and lows of podcasting, then, like, I accept, you know? Like, you're the real victim here.
Do I accept? What?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're saying it's fine and you just want me to do well and you care if the numbers are good, then, like,
I don't
that's
care
my main. Okay.
at all if your podcast's numbers are good.
Okay, but then
at all.
Do you
only from a business perspective?
What business? Like, what are we?
I don't know.
Do you care if Gussin Around numbers, like the few people that have stayed to hear, like the 4 people left? Mom, thank you so much. That OnlyFans joke was nothing.
Still thinking about that. You shouldn't have brought it back up.
I just like, you are the one who has to like watch me care too much. I'm surprised you
I
want,
just
you should
care
stop.
about. Yeah, I just don't like when you get upset. I also don't like reading things about you online that are not true. Like, it's hard seeing people post lies online.
Yeah,
And
screw those people.
I don't. Yeah, I know, but
they don't get to be in the same
it's annoying
podcast
for
as my
me.
miscarriage.
It's funny how many people just make up entire things.
We can
but
talk
it's
about
not,
that another time.
Yeah, we'll talk about it another time. But it's not about like specific things of, they've said this and it's like somewhat close to the truth. Like, people will be like completely just be like, Shannon has a bad relationship with this person, and you're like, what? That makes no sense. Why would she have a bad relationship?
I told you to stop reading that stuff.
I'm like,
I even stopped reading that stuff.
They have a great relationship, and you're just sitting there and you're like, sometimes I've read a comment about Shannon having a bad relationship with someone while we're hanging out with them. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. We're sitting right next to them.
Taylor Swift once said recently that she can read a headline about herself that's not about her. And that really helped me. God, I love that woman. She's the best person alive. Anyway, okay, we don't need to talk about the trolls.
No.
This is about our miscarriage. This podcast was alone about. No, if people wanted to know about Australian Survivor v. the World, I just think it's interesting. Then that's like leaning on the negative. There was that one negative thing of me having to deal with that mental aspect of not being the partner podcast. And like, it was great. And like, really thanks to the community, because I felt like really what I felt was like, oh, well, I'm completely irrelevant. And I'm like, no one. And the community was so positive and made me feel so seen. And
when the numbers back up.
Oh my God, stop talking about the numbers.
No, I know it's but the thing is, like, it's hard to say, like, I don't feel irrelevant. You know what doesn't feel irrelevant? When you have so many people listening to you when you're at top of the charts. It helps you. I'm not saying anything ridiculous. Like, of course, if you're charting high every time, then the community is supporting who they want to support, and they're choosing to support you.
Yeah, but
anyone can listen to as many podcasts as you want. You don't have to just choose one. You can listen to all of them. But if people are using their spare time consistently, week by week, choosing to listen to you multiple times a week for way too long, because you podcast for way too long.
How long has this podcast been?
I don't know. Probably also way too long, in my opinion.
We should start. I'm going to check my notes.
If they're doing that, then, they've made their choice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing you've said to me before that has helped me so much. I was like, if you get a negative comment, it's like, well, I need like positive comments to balance it out. And then you're like seeking the positive comments, which people are very lovely. But you're like, no, it matters that people come back and listen.
You get more positive comments than comments about my podcast. Like, it's an insane amount of positive comments, which is...
That would just hype me up for no reason.
No,
I don't need you to do that.
People...
I love you, but you don't need to do it.
No, it is insane. Like, I love it.
It's a great community.
It's great.
Hopefully those people are the 4 people still here.
Yeah, and those people that message you saying they want to be your best friend.
Yeah, I hope people are all listening. There. Yeah, I want to be those people's best friends. I think that those people will hopefully...
Shan means that because she's an introvert, so she'll never go outside and meet some people.
Yeah, that is how I make friends. I literally have made friends with the listeners.
It's true.
And it's been great.
That's why Shan makes friends with players and listeners, because she won't go and make friends outside.
Yes. That is how I make friends. I watch them on TV and I choose them. I'm like, you. All the listeners. That's my community. Like, my friendships are my school friends, and pretty much, and Survivor players and the podcasters and the community. Anyway, hopefully a lot of those people who do message, I feel like there's like a kindred spiritness that's not just Survivor. There's like a lot of people have cats and love Taylor Swift or love theater or like see themselves in me in some sort of neurodivergent way as well. Yeah. So hopefully those people will like Gussin Around, because we're going to talk about all that stuff, right? Like the Taylor Swift album will come out.
We haven't talked about your OCD at all.
Yeah, I mean, sure. We'll talk about that. Sure. We'll talk about everything. We'll talk about our lives.
All the things wrong with you.
I think it's going well, and hopefully it recorded, right? We don't even know.
Don't even put that out in the universe.
This would be so unfortunate to have this conversation without it
anything
recording.
Sounds bad, the text bad. I've got no idea.
We're trying our
best. Run.
Yeah, we hope it's been fine.
It's a work in progress.
Anyway, this is what's going to happen now. So usually, I think you don't know any of this.
Can we talk about the intro? I wasn't in the intro.
Yes.
You sang it while I was out.
What were you going to do? I
was going to add a little spice.
I told you can say Gus at the end.
No, I'm going to add something.
No, I don't want you to freestyle over the intro. It's
not
freestyle. Perfect as it is. At the end, when I say Gus, you can also say
I'm going to do it. You'll
Peter,
see episode 2. I'll be there.
You're not freestyling over
Let's
it, and I will
see.
cut you out. You can record it,
We'll see what happens.
but it will not make the
Listen
final
out
cut.
for it.
You will say Gus. That's what.
Sorry, what was you were saying?
No, I was gonna say that I usually am wearing pajama pants and like a top and like a full face of makeup, and I wasn't prepared to have different pants, so I'm still doing that, but I'm like under a blanket.
Thanks for pointing that out.
If you're wondering why I'm like sickly under a blanket, also it's warm.
I'm glad you pointed out you're wearing pants.
We'll
Because
never know.
that's what you've done. Unlike our OnlyFans.
Oh my god, what was that line in the card? It was anyway. It's going to annoy me now.
But we'll figure it out.
The thing that is happening now. So usually I think we want to release these on like a Tuesday.
Okay, right. Okay, so record on a Monday.
Record like, yeah, and then release because I feel like that's like a bit before Survivor. It just feels right, I think. But this is going to come out hopefully end of week, assuming it recorded. But I'm going to then give like 10-ish days until the next one because I want to give people the chance to listen. And then we want to do a question and answer podcast, either the next one or the one after that. Also, coincidentally, we will be in Melbourne, so we can't record it, even if we wanted to. Well, we don't know when we're going to be in Melbourne. Do you want to tell the people about our football teams and what's happening with that?
Sure.
Do it.
Okay, I'll do it. In AFL, the Aussie Rules football, there's only 4 teams left. We're very deep into the final series. And my team is playing another team, and her team is playing another team, with the winners of those games potentially playing in the grand final, which is the Super Bowl equivalent. And yeah, so we're flying down to watch our teams play.
And for Jewish New Year, but sure, yeah.
Yeah,
well, so we're flying down to Melbourne, where both of our Melbourne
like how she
teams
said you explain it. And then...
are in the... I'm just helping you do it better. Are in the semi-finals. Like, that's what it is, like a semi-final. You were saying?
Yeah, that's not how it works in AFL, but that's fine, whatever.
I'm trying to put it into American terms.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yes, the winners of the games will stay in Melbourne and the losers will fly back to Sydney.
It's shame. We'll part of me, like, I want the Hawks to win, but like, I do not want to be away from my Cats for that long.
And I just want to win the premiership.
So. Yeah. So my team is unlikely to win. Like, we're less likely to win, and Peter's team is more likely to win. So if whoever's team wins, even if it's both of us, will stay longer in Melbourne to stay for the grand final. So we wouldn't be here to record, which is why we're going to drop this. And then I want you guys to send in questions. Do we have an email address?
We do. It is gussinaroundpodcast@gmail.com. It's GUSSINAROUND podcast @gmail.com.
Great. You can put it on the YouTube comments. You can DM me on Instagram. You can DM me on Twitter. You can put a comments under this on Twitter or Blue Sky, or DM me on Blue Sky. You can email us, because then when we get the questions, we'll know what people want to hear about. You can ask about our interests. You can ask about our relationship. Anything. We want to know what you want to know, like about our lives or anything like that. And we'll try and answer it. Maybe the next podcast. Some conversation. Yeah, or maybe the one after. Yeah, we want to kind of see what the 4 listeners left want to know.
Otherwise,
please don't say miscarriage.
We will just revert to talking about what we just watched, which was K-pop Demon Hunters.
Oh my God, K-pop Demon Hunters!
We'll be talking about that in episode 2, unless otherwise told not to.
We should do a special K-pop Demon Hunters episode that's just called "The Last People to Watch K-pop Demon Hunters in the World," which was Peter's fault.
That was not my fault. You cannot possibly blame me. I asked her when it came out. I said, "Hey, Shan, this has got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. It looks really good. 97. Do you want to watch it?" And she said, "No, sounds bad."
I said, "It sounds weird."
It sounds weird, which is so judgmental.
I don't like K-pop and I don't like demons. I thought I didn't like K-pop. I don't know anymore. I love the songs from K-pop.
You do love K-pop.
I loved it. It was so good.
It was really good.
Literally, I've just been fueled since we watched it like 2-3 days ago. I've just been fueled by the music.
Didn't we watch it yesterday?
No.
God, time has just merged into one for me.
I'm playing it constantly. I think I liked it more than you did.
It's funny because on my podcast, I've got like the superhuman memory for stats and numbers, which is true. My memory is amazing for numbers.
Really?
And it is terrible for non-numbers. Anything like life related, can't remember it at all. But as soon as it's like numbers, just go straight in here.
Anyway, also I was covering Australian Survivor, so I didn't have time to watch K-pop Demon Hunters. But had I known it was that good, I would have found the time.
Yeah, you would have.
Yeah. Man, it was so good. Anyway, that's it. Did we
get
what
through
a
your
journey.
list, or do you still have three things
at
left?
the very end, it was K-pop Demon Hunters.
No, really, what was it?
No, it was plan and next couple of weeks. So we already did that.
Perfect. Awesome.
As explained to you. And now Peter will have to get up to turn the podcast off. So
Oh well.
hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you for sticking around if you did. What a journey. We got to K-pop Demon Hunters. We went through miscarriage. What a time. But thank you all. We'll see you soon. Please send in your questions. I am just filibustering while Peter works out how to end it. Thank you guys so much. Bye. Gussin around, your friendly neighborhood Gusses are gussin around. Your favorite neighborhood Gusses, where are they found? In the studio making a podcast for you. Find out what we did